Hello, this is the MyFatoorah technical support team, and in this video, we will guide you through the integration process of embedded payment. Embedded payment does not require any activation from our side. All you have to do is follow these integration steps. In this video, we will use an HTML file to represent your front end and Swagger to demonstrate the requests you'll send from your backend to MyFatoorah endpoints. First, you'll send a request to the initiate session endpoint. This will return to you the session ID and the country code. Please note that the country code is fixed for your account, so you don't need to retrieve it each time from the response. Since we are in the demo environment, I'm using the demo URL to load the correct library. This can be seen here. I also created a div element to load the file in, where the div element has a unique ID, and this can be seen here. Next, you'll add the session ID and the country code to your HTML file. This will load the card view for your customers to enter the card details. This is the country code. Now, let's go to the card view. Once the customer enters his card BIN number, an on-card BIN changed function returns the BIN number of the card. Once the customer fills his card information and clicks on the payment button, in this interface it is a Pay Now button, you will have to call MyFatoorah submit function. This function returns to you the session ID and the card brand. You will use the session ID later to call execute payment in your backend. Now let's go ahead and fill in the card information. I just want to show you that I have MyFatoorah submit function over here. And once I click on Pay Now, this function is called. And now I will use the session ID in the execute payment. Execute payment will return the payment URL in the response. You should redirect the customer to this URL for them to enter their OTP. The ACS simulator page represents the OTP page, but in the demo environment. All you have to do is click on Submit. And now the payment is done. Please note that in this flow, MyFatoorah will handle the card, so you do not need to be PCI DSS certified to use embedded payment. Please also note that you can customize the embedded payment using the style parameters. This is to make sure that the card view is fitting in your website seamlessly. Embedded payment also allows you to save card information. You will assign a unique customer identifier to each customer, and MyFatoorah will save the cards associated with that customer identifier. Customers can find their saved card for future payments. The HTML file used in this integration can be found in the documentation here. Now, let's focus on some features available for embedded payment. First, we have the saving card information. This feature has to be enabled first from the admin side, and you will have to send a customer identifier to the request to initiate session endpoint. Now, I have it enabled for my account, so all I have to do is pass a customer identifier in the request. Now I will take the session ID and put it in the HTML file. Let's refresh the view. You can see now that a save card info for future payment is being displayed. This wasn't displayed before. Now let's pass the card information. Let's save the card. Let's click on Pay Now. Now the card is saved. Let's create a new session ID using the same customer identifier. Let's refresh the view. You can see now that the card that I used before is saved, and all I have to do is just enter the CVV and call execute payment using this session ID will return the payment URL in which I will enter my OTP. Next we have is the on-card bin changed. This function returns the card bin number to you. You can use this information based on your needs. Now let's take a look at it. Let's create a new session ID. Now let's refresh the view. In this example, I'm logging the bin number in my console. So let's take a look at it. You see that once I start filling in the card information, the card bin number is logged in the console. And if I delete it, it returns an empty response, and if I enter a new one, it will return it. Next we have is editing the style parameters. Let's go to the HTML file and take a look at this. First we have is the hide card icons. If true, this hides the icons on the card view and will display only the one that represents the card being filled. Let's try it out. Before I refresh, you can see that I have the logos for Visa, MasterCard, Meta, and Amex. If I refresh now, because I have it true, they will go. And once I fill in the card information, the one that is displayed is the one that belongs to this card. Next we have is the input. This manages the font, size, color, and the text being displayed on the boxes. We also have text. This manages the text represented on the saved card's view. We have also label. This manages the display of labels above the boxes of the card view. Error. This manages the change that happened on entering the faulty information like invalid card number. Now let's make some changes and take a look at this. Now let's refresh the view. You can see now that the labels are being loaded. The text inside the boxes has changed, and also the border color. If you have multiple gateways with the same currency in embedded payment, MyFatoorah enables you to specify which gateway to use by passing the currency to the submit function. For example, if I have two gateways, one in AED and one in KWD, I will have to pass here in the function for MyFatoorah.submit if I want to use the currency AED in my gateway, this parameter. Thank you for watching this video guide on embedded payment integration with MyFatoorah. We hope this helps streamline your payment processes and enhance your customer experience.